Let's continue talking about comparing integers. Now, comparing integers is really important. It's a key idea in maths. It's useful for comparing distances or temperatures, which is what we saw in sort of our previous video. We were looking at comparing numbers on number lines and seeing how the further to the right on the number line we lie, the bigger the number is, and vice versa. The further to the left on a number line, the smaller you are. We also looked at the following symbols. We looked at that symbol, and that symbol, the crocodile facing left, the crocodile facing right, and the parallel lines, or these two lines here. And if you recall, when we have it facing to the left, the big end facing to the left, it means less than. If it's facing to the right, it means greater than. And then this symbol here means equal to. Okay, and so in this video, we're going to look at comparing some bigger numbers. Let's look at an example. Say we were asked to compare 178 and 173. Okay. If we think back to our place value videos, what do these numbers really mean? Well, when we did place value, we broke up our numbers into hundreds, tens, and ones. So 178 is just 100, 7 tens, and 8 ones. And 173 is 100, 7 tens, and 3 ones. And there's a nice method that lets us compare these numbers, which is to write them down like this and compare the digits from left to right. So if we look in this first column here, well, there's a 1 here and there's a 1 here, and these numbers are the same, or these digits are the same. So we next look to the tens column, where we have a 7 and a 7, which is the same. So we skip to the next column, and we have an 8 and a 3. But 8 is bigger than 3, and so this number at the top, 178, is greater than 173, which we write as 178 is greater than 173. And this method is kind of quite nice because it gives us an alternative to writing down the number line. We could do just as we did last time. We could draw a number line, mark on 173, mark on 178, and see that 178 is bigger. But this technique of just writing them one above the other is a bit more nice and quick. Okay, let's have a look at another example, which is to compare 284 and 391. we'll just do the exact same thing. So we write them one above the other. And we've got to make sure that they line up on this right-hand side. So the ones digits always have to line up. Okay. So we look in this first hundreds column and we see, oh, so 2 is less than 3. And then we stop there immediately because we have a difference in these digits, then that's the order the numbers are in. Because 2 is less than 3, 284 is less than 391. So 284, remember with the less than symbol, it's the bigger end of the symbol is pointing that way because this number is bigger. So 284 is less than 391. So just to summarize the method, what we do is 1, write down our numbers with ones digit in same column. And then 2, we compare the digit on the left. So the digits on the left, if they're the same, or if one is bigger than the other, then that's the order of the numbers. Otherwise, we compare the next digits along. If they're the same, we then compare the next digits along. If they're the same, we compare the next digits along, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to give you some questions here. I'll just write them out and then give you the chance to pause the video to have a go at them. So what I want you to do is to compare 301 and 304, 526 and 534, 671 and 429, and then finally 27 and 109. So if you'd just like to pause the video and give them a go. Okay, hopefully that should have been enough time for you to give them a go. Just looking at question 1 there, we have 301 and 304. So we compare, we've written them out, so the ones digits are in the same column, and then we look and we compare from the left. So 3 is the same as 3, we skip that. 0 is the same as 0, we skip that. 1 is less than 4. And so 301 is less than 304. For question 2, we've got 526 and 534. We just do the exact same thing of lining them up there like that. And we first compare the hundreds digit, which is the same because there's a 5 and a 5. So we've got nothing yet. But if we compare the tens digit, this 2 is less than the 3 here. And so that must mean that this number with the 2 is less than this number with the 3. So 526 is less than 534. Okay, nice. So for question 3, we have 671 and 429. Now, you don't always have to write them out one above the other. If you can spot just by looking at them next to each other, it's also fine just to sort of jump straight ahead. But I'll just continue doing it this way for now. So we do it again. We've lined them up with the ones digit, and then we look. There's a 6 and a 4. 6 is bigger than 4, and so 671 is bigger than 429. And then one last question, which was 27 and 109. And this one's a bit different. It's different because there's 2 digits in this number, but there's 3 digits in that number, the 109. So we've got to do something a bit special here, which is to remember that just because there's a gap here, it doesn't mean that sort of there's still a number there, which would be 0. There would be 0, hundreds, and 27. And once we've done that, we can quickly say 0 is less than 1, and so 0.27, or just 27, is less than 109. So in this video, we've looked at how we can compare bigger numbers using methods other than just the number line.